When a financial advisor tells you what to invest your money in, what do they base their recommendation on? Unfortunately, it's probably not as scientific as you might like to think. Through their regulatory organizations, most financial services professionals are obligated to offer their clients an investment that is suitable. Suitability is a broad term, and there are lots of other factors that may affect the advice that you receive. The advisor's regulatory body, compensation model, and education can all have a significant impact on what they decide to tell you to invest your money in. I'm Ben Felix, Associate Portfolio Manager at PWL Capital. In this episode of Common Sense Investing, I'm going to tell you about some of the common ways that financial advice can be affected. In Canada, it is currently up to the investor to ensure that their interests are truly being put first when they are receiving financial advice. Most Canadian financial advisors are held to a suitability standard rather than a best interest standard, meaning that as long as their advice is suitable, it does not have to be in the best interest of the client. Conflicts of interest are generally subtle, and they are ingrained in the way that many Canadian financial advisors do business. I often hear disbelief when I explain to someone that the advice that they have received was likely influenced by an incentive or commission for their advisor. Financial advisors do not generally have malicious intent, but they are often in a situation where the nature of their compensation puts their interests at odds with those of their clients. A financial advisor who is licensed to sell mutual funds will often receive a commission of 1% per year on the investment assets that they manage. The advisor also has the option of generating a 5% upfront commission at the time that they invest in new clients' assets, plus a lower 0.5% per year ongoing. This is referred to as a deferred sales charge or back-end load. The catch for the client is that only funds with high management fees offer this form of compensation for the advisor. Low-cost index funds and ETFs do not offer large upfront commissions. A 2016 report from Morningstar explained that expense ratios are the most proven predictor of fund performance. But most financial advisors are oblivious to the fact that high-fee products are likely to do more harm than good for their clients. It's likely that their heads are full of attractive sales pitches and compensation incentives from fund companies instead of the academic research that should be driving their investment recommendations. A 2015 report published by the Canadian Securities Administrators found that mutual funds that perform better attract more sales, but that the influence of past performance on fund sales is considerably reduced when that fund pays commissions. In other words, if a fund pays commissions, advisors continue to sell it even if it exhibits poor performance. When receiving investment advice from a financial advisor that is only licensed to sell insurance, the investment vehicle that they are likely to recommend is a segregated fund. Segregated funds are insurance products that are similar to mutual funds with some added insurance features. To pay for these features, segregated funds tend to have significantly higher fees than mutual funds. The reality for a long-term investor is that the added features of segregated funds will not usually justify their significantly higher fees. If a financial advisor is recommending segregated funds, it is likely because that is the only thing that they are licensed to sell, even though it may not be the best thing for you. Anytime an advisor is recommending segregated funds, it is important to understand exactly what their reasoning is and why an index fund or ETF is not a better solution. There are plenty of financial advisors in Canada who are good people with good intentions and who are trusted by their clients. A significant portion of these financial advisors are in a situation where their advice is naturally conflicted due to their compensation structure. Advisors in this situation will usually do their own version of due diligence in order to justify and rationalize the advice that they're giving to their clients. Maybe something like finding actively managed funds with good past performance to justify their higher fees. The only logical way to decide how to invest your money is by surveying the academic literature and available data on investing. Doing so inevitably leads to the conclusion that low-cost index funds are the best option for most people. The unfortunate truth is that most Canadian financial advisors are influenced by other factors. Join me in my next video where I will tell you if now is a good time to invest. My name is Ben Felix of PWL Capital, and this is Common Sense Investing. I'll be talking about this and many other common sense investing topics in this series, so subscribe, click the bell for updates, and I'd also love to hear from you as to what topics you'd like me to cover.